Hi, I'm Aid. No, your video's not broken? Today I'm going to show you how to make a camera that makes glitchy, awesome video out of two car reverse cameras. Welcome to my studio. So a while back, I made a weird camera based on this. This is a dirty mixer. If you've never heard of a dirty mixer, it basically takes two video signals and it mixes them together. You've got a knob here that switches back and forth between the two signals and then one output. After I built this, I had the idea of connecting two different cameras. So I thought I'd put two video cameras as the inputs, mix them together, and then output them. What I didn't realize was just how big this camera would end up, because in order to make this happen, I had to connect two camcorders with adapters and power charging. I had to output that to a video capture mechanism. This is basically a cheap monitor rigged so that I could capture the video on the monitor with an iPhone. And then of course this needed power too. And with three devices that need power, I needed a power strip. And you can imagine all of this balancing on top of a tripod. It was pretty awkward and precarious. And yeah, you can see I already disassembled it because it didn't work. I abandoned that idea, but it stuck with me. And, you know, as ideas do, just kind of working in the back of my head. And one day I came up with a better solution. That's the subject of this video today. So although my first version of this camera was a failure, the output of this is pretty cool. It gives you a glitchy, mixed, almost a double exposure with video. It's an effect that I really like. So I thought I'd try it again, and this time in a more affordable fashion. So to do that, I'm going to take a few things here. This is a car backup camera system. The reason I did this is because it's small and affordable. These cameras, so I've got two cameras and a display. And cameras run, I think, around $10 to $15 a piece. And then the display, that costs maybe another $25. So first I'll show you the camera. Camera looks like this, and the monitor looks like this. And my plan is I've got this video switcher box that I'm going to strip the guts out of it, and I'm going to attach the video monitor like this. And then I want these cameras to be on the outside so that I can position them easily. So to position those cameras, I've got these flexible arms. At the end of these will be cameras. So the finished product is going to look kind of like a bug with two antennas. So first things first, I just want to show you what you get with a backup car camera system. There's two parts to it. There's the LCD monitor and then the camera. So in the camera bag, you got a few things. You've got the instructions, you've got the camera, you've got a power wire, a video wire, a drill bit that we won't need, and a little ring adapter and a little adhesive if you needed to attach this like to your bumper or something. The camera is pretty simple. Basically has two inputs. One is power, that's the red. One is video, which is yellow. You've got this wire for power. All I'm going to use is the camera. I'm going to power it, and I'm going to push this video signal. All right, so let's look at the LCD monitor now. Got a suction cup stand. Another stand with adhesive that I guess you could stick to your dashboard, power cord, and then the monitor and some instructions. So before I get too far, I want to do a demonstration to just make sure everything's working. So you can see I've got my two cameras set up here, the monitor and then dirty mixer. The outside are the video in and the inside is video out. So on the video out, that's going to go to the monitor, and then my cameras will go on the outside. That leaves me with three red plugs and one white. I've got to get power to three plugs. So I've rigged up a little device that's going to let me do that. You can see there's an input for the power and then three output. Powering that is going to be a old AC/DC adapter. This says output is 6 volts, 2.1 amps. So if we plug in the three power wires. So once I power this on, these two cameras should turn on, and then we should see something on this display. And you can see we're getting a video signal. So I can turn these from one camera to the other. So if I point one that direction and the other at me, I should be able to switch. Right, and there you can see the other one of me. And in the middle, we can find a sweet spot where we get multiple images. The other thing we're gonna experiment with is video feedback type of things. But I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, that proves that it's gonna work. The next step is to fit all of this into this box. And I haven't completely figured out how I'm gonna do this, but these cameras are gonna attach to these, and these will be something like this. I'm not gonna destroy this. I'm gonna rebuild this from scratch, so I'll show you what's in there as I build it. All right, let's take this thing apart and see what's inside. All right, with those 4 screws removed, I think this should just slide out. There you can see how these switches work. Let's just take a look at the box. This is good. I use those holes for running wire and for attaching my switches and my potentiometer. I've got potentiometer, 2 switches. I want to see how these might fit in here. All right, so we'll have something like this. So if that monitor's here, I can wind these back and point the cameras at the monitor. So I am going to need some ports, so I might disassemble this. So I've got all the components ready to go. Here's my power. In my enclosure, I want to use these bottom 2 for the power. That'll sit in here like this, and you'll see that I've got 1 power leading out. That's because I'm hesitating to permanently attach this display. What this is going to allow me to do is run the power from the outside so that I don't have to access the inside in order to disconnect this display. That way, if I want to use a different display, I'll be able to plug it in and remove this display. Next up is the switches and potentiometer. What you can see here are 3 video ports. The video out will be this yellow, and the camera's video in will be the white and red. I've got my switches and I've got the potentiometer. This may look kind of complicated, but for a diagram, this is basically what's happening. So you can see where the various wires are connected to create this. The goal here is these are going to slide in like this. You'll see I'll be able to plug video out here, cameras in, and switches. On the flip side is going to be that potentiometer. So I'll have a knob on this side to control the video mix. Before I attach anything, this would be a good time to do a test. Now let's plug it in and see. And we can see the display came on. Let's test the potentiometer. That looks good. And the switches. So the next step is to put it all together. So for this monitor, it came with this, I think it must attach, if you want to attach it to your windshield or maybe dashboard. So it's got a suction cup and a grippy thing here. So I can always revert to a different option, but for now, I'm going to use this as the mount for the monitor. think I'm just going to stick it right in the middle. You can see it's got an attachment there that goes into the back of the monitor. Makes it a little bit more awkward, but does position the screen in a little bit of a better position for the cameras if I want to point them at the screen to get some feedback. Last but not least, I need a tripod connector. I think I'm going to put that in one of these holes in the back, and while I'm at it, I might move my potentiometer over to hole number 1. So I want to show you some feedback techniques. So I'm just going to play around with these cameras a little bit and see if I can get some feedback type of patterns. I wanted to show you why I opted for video out on the outside of this box rather than building it all inside. The quality of this screen is, you get what you pay for $25. So, but this screen on the left isn't much better. This is just a car DVD screen. So when you're dealing with a dirty mixer, the signal's really rough. If your monitor can't handle it, it'll glitch out. So you can see it cuts out pretty regularly at that middle spot where both signals are coming through. But that's also the cool, that's what makes this effect so cool. You can plug this video signal into any TV that'll accept this RCA jack, but you probably get the best results from a older CRT monitor. And that raises the next question, which is, could you capture this onto a computer? And that's where things get a little bit interesting, because you can't just pump this signal into a computer. You have to capture the screen with another camera pointed at the screen. So that's where something like this comes into play. This is a little adapter that I built for this screen here, so that I can plug my phone in and capture the signal. What that looks like, I'll just go ahead and stick this camera right in there so you can see exactly what. And there you have video captured on a phone fed through this system. And for fun, I'll play with the potentiometer so you can see the difference. Here's another demo. This is with a CRT TV. These CRT TVs are better for handling a dirty signal like this. I'll just play around and show you what you can do with this. Thanks for watching.